Yo, what's up? What it do? This your boy Dante coming to you with another episode of Keeping It a Buck. Look, before we go any further into this discussion, hit that like button, hit that share button, and definitely subscribe. Hey, look, it don't take much. Just like, share, comment, and subscribe. We all good. Hey, look, I'm gonna talk about a topic that I know y'all probably tired of hearing me talk about, but this right here is affecting the kids. And so when you start messing with the kids, the dude got to say something because I grew up with what they call gender dysphoria. I didn't know if I liked men. I didn't know if I was male or female or whatever the case may be. But I thank God that I realized I'm a man. I love being a man. I'll tell you that now. And the other day, I was looking at Tucker Carlson, and he was talking to a guy that transgendered into a woman, then he transgendered back into a man. But what blew my mind is I went on YouTube to see if I could find the clip of their discussion. I could not find it. What I did find was Tucker Carlson talking about the interview that was done with 60 Minutes, where they was talking about people that had went through the transition and then they transitioned back. They felt like it was duped by the medical industry and by therapists that was just basically telling them whatever you feel you could be. And one thing about feelings, they always change. So I always tell people, don't go on your feelings because one minute you're happy, next minute you're sad, the next minute you're up, next minute you're down. So you never build permanent decisions on what you feel. I know people say like listen to your gut feeling or whatever the case may be. Your gut feeling ain't nothing but discernment. That's something that God put inside of all us, and it's called instinct. So know instinctively what you need to do. And when they come to these kids, man, I'm telling you, when you want to start mutilating kids, because this is called a spade a spade. I have a problem. We're going to talk about the Kellogg's collab with the LGBTQ community with Glad. And so they're talking about a gay cereal. Man, and if you knew how much some cereal costs, man, and anybody that paid that much for a box of cereal, I want to slap them. Real talk. So I'm going to show you the video since YouTube or since Facebook or none of those big platforms want to put it out and put it out because I think people need to understand. And I'm going to say this before I go into showing the video because I'm going to try to make this in 15 minutes or less. Real talk, because I know some of y'all have an attention span up in that, unless it's something salacious or it's something, with drama. And big salute to Kwame Brown. I mean, on the video that I did, talking about him from an ex homosexual perspective, dude watched the video. He actually commented on the video, man, and that lets me know that he noticed, and it wasn't for him to give me a shout out or to recognize me. It was just, hey, real recognize real, and I recognize that dude is a real dude, and I have to salute him. And so that's just something I wanted to put in there. But we're going to definitely understand something that we have so many people out here talking about gay people. Even there was, a video that was out on Kwame Brown saying that he was gay. You know, um, it's stupid. Now, there's one spectrum, one side of the spectrum saying that, hey, if you gay, then that's wrong and you're going to hell. And they're like, that's the only sin that can send you to hell. Newsflash, there's more than one sin. Matter of fact, all sin. If it's not repented for, you can go to hell. That's just a fact. But I'm not here to be preaching. I'm here to be, informative. That's what I want to do. I want to inform you because I think a lot of us have been inoculated with this whole, I can't say anything about the LGBTQ community, but they can say whatever the whole heaven and hell they want to about us. And so again, I can speak about this because I'm somewhat an expert. I lived the lifestyle for 25 plus years. I lived it. You know what I'm saying? And again, you think that I don't still battle? I still battle, but at the same time, 7 years strong. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? That I'm not laying with no dude or I'm not trying to get affirmed by no dude. My Heavenly Father's affirmed me. My pastors affirmed me. And so those are the things that I need. I need a father affirmation on earth. I got that. So I'm good, and so it's not to bash the LGBTQ community because you got a lot of people that's part of the community that hates what they're trying to push on kids. And it's sad. I don't know if y'all heard that. If you did, I apologize. If you didn't, just think I'm crazy. But anyway, I'm just saying this. Most people don't to formerly gay people. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe that people can change. But it's amazing to me that we have people like Andrew Cardwell. They come out, Mr. Undeliberate with the T on it. You know, people want to make fun of that. But you got people like me that are really trying to do this thing the right way. They try to do it the way God created it. And these videos go nowhere. I watch the videos that may have 7 views on it. Why don't we want truth? You know what I'm saying? If I was on here queening out, as they would say, if I was on here clowning, I'm quite sure there'd be more people, adhering to these type videos. But real talk, people need to hear from people like me to let people know the truth. I mean, because you're going on psychologists and all these people that has not lived the lifestyle, and even some of them that are in the lifestyle or have lived the lifestyle, they're pushing an agenda because they want people to feel the way they feel. It's crazy. But without further ado, we're going to go into this video real quick. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about it. We're going to move on. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Let me go here. I'm still new with this, so y'all bear with me. Let's see. Nope, we don't want to do it like that. We're going to push back here. Let's go here. Play.
Billy, really, thanks so much for coming on. So, my understanding as an outsider watching this, reading about it, is that no one goes into these transitions, these surgeries particularly lightly. These are people who are very unhappy and they believe that the hormone treatment and or the surgery will make them happier. Is that your experience? And tell us the result.
That is not my experience. That was my hope going into the surgery, but not my experience. I had gender dysphoria as a child, and I tried to deal with it, but I had a breakdown when I was in college. When in college, I sought help, and found a gender therapist. I actually spent 5 years in therapy trying to overcome, trying to sort through and figure out what's going on, why I had this thought that God made a mistake, I was a girl. But the books I've read, the journal articles I've read, they all said that I had to transform my body to match my mind for me to be happy. I was getting out of sorts and I wanted to find happiness, so eventually I believed those articles. I told my therapist I wanted to transition, and I went through all of the procedures, the surgeries, the documentation changes to be able to present as female. Tucker, the first surgery I went through was a male to female surgery where they did a penile inversion and also a brow shave and an Adam's apple shave. That surgery was horrific. Coming out of that surgery, I had a significant amount of bleeding, and they tried to control the bleeding by shoving more gauze into my new man-made female genitalia and putting a sandbag on my abdomen. My 2-week stay in the hospital turned into a 3-week stay.
Yo, I had to pause it right quick because I think this is what people don't realize, the horrific trauma that people have to go through when they go through having these surgeries. What this dude is basically saying is that he went through this surgery and that it was some complications there. Why would you want to put your kids through that? You know what I'm saying? It's not a guarantee. This dude is basically saying that he was hemorrhaging, and he was bleeding. They had to take gauze and stick it into his new genitalia because he was bleeding too much. Now, some people may be stupid and say, well, he had a period. No, this dude was bleeding. He was bleeding because you're not supposed to be cutting down there. I'm just saying. Now, I know some people may get vasectomies or whatever, and that's just a small little cut. But I'm telling you, when you got women getting vasectomies, getting their breasts removed so they can be a dude, at the end of the day, or they may take hormones to stop their period or whatever. At the same time, you still got ovaries and all the other stuff inside of you, you still a woman. And bro, if you can get your penis cut off, you can walk around here trying to be like Caitlyn Jenner all you want to. At the end of the day, you still got to live with that mind. And you're going to hear this dude talk more about this mind. But I'm just questioning, why isn't this on YouTube? Why this conversation is not on YouTube? Because this dude finna say some things that's going to show people that you need to turn to a power that's higher than you. Matter of fact, I call that power God. I call that power Christ. And that's the highest power in my book. But this dude going to talk about that, so we're going to continue with him because the dude is saying some real stuff.
Because of that. And so my experience was really bad. Along the way, I tried to do more surgeries to get the connection between my mind and my body to eventually connect, and it never did happen. All that I read, everything that I learned was a lie. And I eventually transitioned back to male.
Oh. So what you found, I suppose you can tell a lie because it's always too simplistic to be true. So the idea that you have this turmoil inside you, clearly you did, a lot of people do, that you can solve it with, genitalia removal or some extensive cosmetic surgery. How long did it take for you to figure out that this didn't actually solve the turmoil within you?
It took 7 years. 7 years of many surgeries and...
Let me tell you this: 7 years, man. That's the number of completion, man. When I looked at this video and I'm looking at this dude, I had to record it on my TV, FYI, because it's not on YouTube. It's not there, so I had to record it with my phone and upload it to the computer so I can be able to share with you guys what they're not talking about. It is ironic to me that you guys aren't talking about it either. It is affecting your kids. We have them teaching this foolishness in school that you have two moms and two dads. Do you not understand how lopsided that is? Every child needs a mother and a father. Point blank. Period. They need both sides because if you give them, I know from being a male that was raised in a single parent household with just a mother, I knew that there was a whole lot of feminine traits that I had that I didn't that I didn't recognize until I got older. I realized that I was handling situations and issues like my mom would. And as I got older, what I'm saying, I began to realize that that's not who I be. I don't know what it's all this stuff just coming out. Everybody want a message now that I'm doing a video, but needless to say, so this dude is basically saying how his mind and his body never connected, and it took him 7 years after having all of those surgeries, becoming a woman, that he still wasn't happy and he wasn't whole. He had to be who he really was created to be. Let's go forward.
Of trying really hard to make that connect. After 7 years, I was falling back into that depression people were talking about, where transgender kids, people are before the transition. I hit that same thing 7 years later because I did everything the books, the therapists, the medical community told me I needed to do to find this happiness. I didn't find it. I found depression. I was very distraught. And at that time, I actually called out to God for help because I did everything that I could think about doing, medically, everything.
Look, you heard what this dude said, man. I just want to give you guys a truth. When things are hard for you, call on God. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says that when David said, "When my heart is overwhelmed, I go to a rock that's higher than I." It doesn't make sense if you're weak to go to somebody that's weak. It's not gonna work. You need to go to somebody that's stronger when you need help. And so what he said was, I went to the doctors, they couldn't help me. I did the surgery, it couldn't help me. I went to therapy because you're going to get to it, like I said before. It's ironic. I've never been transgender. I always had my male parts. Always been a man. Even though I did some things that wasn't manly, I was always a man. I always considered myself to be a man. And he was basically, telling people or telling us, what I'm saying, that things that they don't want to tell you on the major networks. People need to talk about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Talk to the people that's been through it. Stop talking to people that can speculate or want to give psychology on stuff. Now, talk to people that's been through stuff because they have experience. But nobody want to talk about that. So again, this dude was talking about, when I got so overwhelmed and I couldn't figure it out, I had to go back to the one that created the blueprint, which is God. I had to go back to the creator who created us and who created me and ask him to tell me what's going on with me and how to resolve it. A lot of us trying to move God out of the picture, and that's why we're going through all the hell we're going through now. But let him talk, and so we can go ahead and talk about this Kellogg's um, foolishness, and then we can be done with this. All right?
And I was so distraught. Suicide was becoming an option again, but it wasn't an option. So I called out to God and asked for him to help, and gave my life, gave all of me and my problems to him. And he helped me. He helped me find my way back.
What would you say to parents?
Now, Tucker, dude, when he told you that, look, I had to go back to God, man. I had to talk to God. If me being the Christian man that I am, man, I would have followed up with that saying, I would have asked him, so you're saying that because you went to God, this is how things change? You glossed over that. So the thing is, and I have nothing against Tucker, I really like him. But the thing is, you got people like him that can make an impact. Because we in a godless world, period. They're trying to remove God out of everything. They want everybody to trust in man. Man can't fix it. This dude is telling you, I went to doctors, they couldn't fix me. So I had to go back to God. So this is how this dude go from being a man, going to living as a woman for 7 years. At the end of that, saying I got to go back to being a man. It looked like he got a married, like he's married, like he got a ring on his ring finger. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm very analytical. That's why. But I'm just saying, Tucker, you dropped the ball there, man. This was a teachable moment, but you missed it, and it's okay because when you missed it, I picked up on it, bro, and I got your back. And if that's wasn't your intent, it's already out there now, bro. Because I'm gonna talk about it. That disturbed me because I'm like, this dude is really giving praises to God, and that he was able to renew his mind and realize who he was, and then you just gloss over that, and you want to go to another question. The media. That's all I got to say.
Who are bewildered and upset when their children come to them and say, I think I'm in the wrong body, I have the wrong sex, I want to change my sex. How would you advise parents to handle that with their children?
I would advise them, the parents and the children, to seek help. Now, I was in therapy for 7 years, and the going phrase that I hear is that we have to be sensitive and we have to give gender-affirming therapy. The therapist failed me because I didn't need gender-affirming. I needed to dig down to the root of my problems that I had when I was a kid. As a kid, I had a speech impediment. I was really skinny. I had a learning disability. I really didn't fit in with the boys at all. So that
Man, this dude is, even though I never was transgendered or transitioned into a female, this dude saying things that I've been saying all along. Most of us running around here, we got deep rooted issues. We haven't resolved them. And then what we do is we put paint on top of it. It's like we whitewash it or we try to paint over it so people don't see the truth. You got so many people out here now driving the nicest cars, living in the nicest house. You know, they out there working their body out in the gym, doing everything they can to try to be accepted by people. But yet and still in their mind, they still feel some type of way. You got to deal with that deep rooted issue. Once I realized that the molestation was trauma, and because I learned to manage the trauma instead of learning how to manage to get out of trauma and how to live a productive life, I had to go to therapy as well. Therapy has helped me. Therapy has helped me be able to live in my truth. Most black brothers, they're not going to say what they've been through. They're not going to tell you the horrific stories of them being molested by another man, especially. You're not going to talk about that. But these are the things that you don't realize. We don't understand why all these men, like I said before, I know a guy, he's hard as nails. But the thing is, he has an attraction to men. When I talked to the dude told me, say, you know what? He was molested by his cousins for years. They got kids here, there, and everywhere. But yet and still, he was molested, and so he still had an attraction to men. Because again, when you get a child's mind early, and you start putting stuff in there, a child will begin to think that way. This is why the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go. And when they're old, they won't depart from it. One thing that I did not depart from was that God created me a male child. My mom told me that. I read in the Bible. So those things, even though I strayed away, I did my own thing. One thing that I reverted back to was I'm a man. And I would never ever stand before God and have a sex change, or nor would I stand before God and marry another man. These things I will not do. You know, there were certain limits even in the lifestyle that I said, oh, heck to the no. I ain't doing. So this dude is speaking truth to power, but if it's not out there, how will people hear it? And then we got fools that sit here and want drama instead of listening to the truth because it's going to affect your kids. Teaching critical race theory, all this foolishness to your kids. And the thing is, a lot of us have been dumbed down to accept this foolishness. I'm going to be a voice on the. I'm going to be a voice on the wall. I'm gonna do what Isaiah 58 and 1 told me to do. I'm gonna cry out and spare not. I don't care if it touch only one person. I'm going to do my job and I'm going to speak out about this stuff because, man, I just don't like what they're doing to these kids. Leave these babies alone, man. Leave these kids alone.
Thought that I had that God made a mistake. I was a girl. My conditions, everything around me was feeding into this thought and confirming it. So when I went through therapy, the therapist didn't ask why didn't I feel secure, significant, or accepted as a kid. They proceeded to affirm that I had gender dysphoria because that's what I was telling them. And I was convinced of it. And so they didn't dive into the issues, to the root cause, and help me to figure out what was going on and to overcome my issues. I was okay as a boy. The road I went down was really, really bad. And boy, I wish I had the help at that time to figure life out before all that money I spent.
Yeah. Yeah. Just take this drug, have this mastectomy. You're exactly right. That's a powerful story. Billy Burley, I appreciate your coming on tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, you heard it out of your own mouth. You know what I'm saying? This dude said, look, deal with your issues, man. There's enough tissue for your issues. If you deal with them, ignore them is not going to change anything. You got to face them head on. You got to. It's mandatory. If you don't want to repeat the same cycle, then you got to do something different. You got to be the change that you want. And I'm not saying transition into a whole different sex. That's ludicrous. Because one thing about it is they're not getting no lobotomies and all that stuff and, changing your mind and all. They can't do that. Only God can change your mind. Only God can do that. And you got to make a decision. Because see, God is a God that He's not going to force you to do anything as mankind is trying to do. Mankind trying to force how you talk and force what you accept and what you don't accept. But one thing about God is that He gives you free will. If you want to do this transition and stuff, go right ahead. God ain't coming down, stopping the doctors from doing it. It's all a choice. But when you come into these babies saying, hey, because a little 5-year-old saying, I feel like a girl or a boy, and you affirming that instead of saying, why do you feel like that? Get to the bottom of it. And then in the black church, we have failed people so badly because we cover up so much stuff in the church, man. We cover up so much. All this molestation and rape that is going on, all these relationships that have taken place from pastors to members, and all this stuff, we covering it up. And then we want to sit up here and then act like we're holier than thou. And then we want to preach to the homosexual, talking about don't do this and you're going to hell. We got to do better. The same love and grace that God gave me, He bestowed on everybody. Why don't we point people to their grace? No, I'm not saying don't tell people about hell, because just like there's a heaven, there's a hell. You got to talk about both, but at the same time. Don't be sitting up here beating people down when we have not cleaned up the mess that's going on in churches now. Let's not talk about people when we got mess in our family. We got so many skeletons in our closet. We got so many generational things that have been passed down that nobody wants to deal with, and we don't understand why the generation that's behind us are messed up. Because we messed up. Messed up people mess up people. I'm passionate about this, man. And if y'all don't understand that, then I don't care. I mean, I'm passionate about the kids. Because at the end of the day, I was a kid that was messed up in the mind. And nobody ever sat down and talked to me to find out what was going on with me. Nobody ever found out, that I really wanted a dad in my life. As a young man, I thank God for my mom. My mom did the best she could. You know what I'm saying? Under the circumstances, having to raise five of my other siblings. Yeah, she did great. I had to watch my brothers and sisters. I had to watch a brother and sister be buried by the age of 14. So then after my brother's funeral, I get molested by a man that called himself my stepfather. Come on, man. Let's just keep it a buck. I forgave him, yeah. But I still sometimes have to deal with the trauma of that. Thank God I went to therapy. Thank God that I read the word. Thank God that I went to a power that's higher than me, which is Christ. Now let's talk about this cereal, man, because this don't really tick me off. See, I try not to get mad over stupid stuff like this, but it's so real and it's so in our face, and we just annoying all of it, man. When are we gonna get tired? When we go get tired of the government telling us how to raise our kids? I remember one time when I was growing up, when we got out of order, our parents, they needed to discipline us by spanking our behind. They did that. Then they got to the point, don't spank your kids because it made them violent. No, what it did is it made your kids have respect. That's why you got kids now haunting, butting, and cussing grown folk out. They have no respect because they have no consequences. But it's okay for your kid to come to tell you what to do with your money? Negro, please. I wish if I did have a kid come to me tell me, Dad, I want to be a girl and you a boy. Who gonna pay for it? Who gonna pay for it? And if you do it, it won't be in my house. If the government want to pay for it, let the government raise you. But now I'm gonna fight for mine though. It ain't gonna be that easy. Come on, we got to grow up and we need to wake up and we need to do it quick. Stop hitting the snooze button to get the hell up. This is crazy, man. Oh man, I'm getting sick. Let me go on. Let me go on. Let me show you this cereal here right quick. This is the cereal they coming out with um with the LGBTQ community. They coming out with this cereal and together. Let me show you how much it costs. This is how much the cereal costs. $15.99. $15.99 for some cereal. All I want to say is leave these kids alone. Dang. Y'all better be glad I'm a Christian because I would have said some other words. But because I'm a Christian, I had to be respectful. They make a cereal about this with pride, together with pride. And then enough of y'all idiots gonna run out there and buy your kids this cereal. Go buy it. Go buy the cereal. I wish I might pay $16 for some cereal. What? I don't care if I got food stamps, if I could buy some food stamps, whatever. I would never pay that much for no cereal. And they call it a limited edition. And you have some fools go out there and buy it, give it to their kids, and don't understand you are what you eat. This is crazy. When y'all go get mad enough for your babies, if you're not mad enough for you, that's okay. But what about the next generation? Because the next generation is being told to be something that they are not. I don't care how much surgery you have. I don't care what you do. You still gonna be biologically male or female. You can't change that. You can't change Dana DNA. You can't change it. But still, we got people that get in your mind and they try to change you in your mind. Because the way a man thinks, so is he. Or so is she. But I'm telling you, man, we got to do better for our kids. When you see stuff like this, and they give them to the kids and they making even the characters. I mean, is that Toucan Sam and the little frogs and the little chickens and Tony the Tiger? Now Tony the Tiger is Tanaya. Now I guess they transgender and Tony the Tiger to Tanaya. And I guess Tony is a unisex name, so it can go both ways. This is crazy, man. And when are we going to get tired of it? When are we going to do something about it? When are we going to stop ignoring it? Why would we allow our kids to be indoctrinated with this foolishness? You heard from the man at the top of the show, man, saying that this is not what he needed. This is not who he was. This is not who he was. I'm real about mine. I have no reason to hide nothing. And I feel like as a man speaks truth. He don't hide nothing. That's why I don't sit up here and try to act brand new with you guys. I want people to know the truth, man, so people can be free. An incarcerated mind and when mind being controlled, man, we got to do better. Why is it that we can have control over all the negative things that we do, but when somebody try to put some positive in your mind because you have been trained to reject truth, you've been trained to reject knowledge. And I'm gonna say this and I'm out. Hosea 4:6-7 says this: my people, God still take ownership of us, even though we act crazy and jacked up at times. He say, but my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Some else it says, and because you have rejected knowledge, I will reject you and your kids. I'm paraphrasing. He said children. So we don't understand now a God that is so accepting to all people who call on his name. But yet and still, when we reject him, when we reject knowledge, when we reject truth, which God is all that, we're rejecting him. So then God has a response to reject us. Who wants to be rejected by God? I'd rather be rejected by man every day and have God on my side than to have man on my side and God rejects me. I'm telling you, if you care about your kids, do something about this and don't buy this cereal. Don't buy this cereal for your kids. I even noticed when I posted it on Facebook with the cereal, no response because we're so dumbed down. But again, if I was on here clowning, talking crazy, this will be shared around because he said you're a Christian. Well, if I say I was going back into the gay lifestyle, and I just want to confess to the world that I'm going back into the lifestyle, and this God thing didn't work. Don't you know that would be a viral video? But because I'm speaking truth and I'm standing in it, nobody wants to talk about that. But I'm done with it. Again, thank you for tuning in to Keeping It a Buck Show. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? If anybody need to talk to me, I'm gonna put the video of Tucker Carlson below. I'm gonna put the full video from which the 60 minutes. I'm gonna put that in there as well. I'm also put my Facebook coordinates in so y'all can reach out to me if you need to. Man, I'm here for you. And if there's anything I can do for you, I'm definitely gonna do it. That's just who I am. That's my heart. So I hope y'all have a blessed day. Stay up, stay blessed. Peace.